Raise your hand if you love insects. I do. When some of you think of insects, you probably think of ugly, creepy crawlers or spreaders of disease, and some are. However, insects are the most underappreciated workers in the agricultural industry. Without millions of insect pollinators like native bees and flower flies, we would struggle to produce enough crop yield to feed our rapidly growing population. So we need to find ways on how to conserve and promote these wild pollinator populations because they're currently threatened by pesticide use and habitat destruction. And for the booming Quebec cranberry industry, little is known about how their agricultural practices are impacting these wild pollinators. So my research is focused on filling this research gap, specifically in the Centre de Quebec region, also known as the cranberry capital of the province. And by working directly with local cranberry farmers, I collected nearly 3,000 native bees and flower flies from their farms and then preserved them in 95% ethanol. Then back in the lab, I used a critical point drying machine to remove the ethanol, and it helps to maintain key characteristics to further analyze their taxonomic diversity and functional diversity. And in order to do that, I used dichotomous keys and field guides to identify the species of each pollinator. By measuring their species abundance and richness, it illustrates the taxonomic diversity of native bees and flower flies within the cranberry farms. Then I will be looking at their functional diversity, specifically at 5 functional traits. Through existing literature, I will determine their habitat specialization and larval feeding preferences. This will provide insight into the behavioral characteristics that influences their ability to pollinate. Then I will use a digital microscope to quantify their hairiness, body size, and tongue length. These 3 functional traits will help me to understand how much pollen they can carry and distribute. So far, I have over 25 different species of flower flies and 1,200 specimens of flower flies. Once I've finished analyzing them, I'll continue and repeat this process with the remaining 1,800 bee specimens. By better understanding which pollinators are in these farms, I can tailor a guide for each cranberry farm based off their agricultural practices. So while insects may not be so cute or cuddly, they play an essential role in agriculture. So let's build a future where we provide these pollinators the best possible working conditions.